So, in the last lecture we have started the properties of Fourier transform, Fourier sine transform, Fourier cosine transform. We started with the linearity property, shifting property and the multiplicative property, that is, if the function f x is multiplied by exponential function e power a x or like that, what is the effect on the Fourier transform on that one. Now, let us see the other properties. The next property is the modulation property, where we are saying that if I multiply f x by cos a x, what will be the effect? I know that Fourier transform of f x is capital F x, then Fourier transform of f x cos a x equals half of f of alpha plus a plus f of alpha minus a. Similarly, Fourier sine transform of f x into cos a x will be equals to half of Fourier sine transform of f plus a plus Fourier sine transform of alpha minus a. Then Fourier sine transform of f x sin a x will be equals to, you see the change here, half of Fourier cosine transform of alpha minus a minus Fourier cosine transform of alpha plus a, just the opposite one. Similarly, Fourier cosine transform of f x sin a x equals half of Fourier sine transform of a plus alpha plus Fourier sine transform of a minus alpha. And number 5 is Fourier cosine transform of f x cos a x equals half into Fourier cosine transform of alpha plus a plus Fourier cosine transform of alpha minus a. So, I will give you the proof of first two. I think if we can prove the first two, then the third, fourth and fifth one you can prove it of your own. So, let us go to the proof of the first one, Fourier transform of f of x cos x. So, we are starting again from the left hand side, Fourier transform of f x into cos of a x. This is equals 1 by root 2 pi minus infinity to infinity e power I alpha x into f x cos a x, f x cos of a x into dx. This equals 1 by root 2 pi minus infinity to infinity. This I am keeping as it is, e power I alpha x into f x. This cos function I can break it into in terms of e power form, because our format of Fourier transform is this. So, cos a x I can write down e power I a x plus e power minus I a x divided by 2 into dx. Now, break it into two different integrals, that is half I am keeping it outside, then 1 by root 2 pi, this I will keep it outside, say 1 by root 2 pi minus infinity to infinity e power, these two I will add. So, e power I into alpha plus a, this e power I alpha x and I alpha a f x dx. This is one term. The other term will be 1 by root 2 pi minus infinity to infinity e power I into, this will be alpha minus a into x dx, that is I into alpha minus x into f x dx. Now, you see the first integral. First integral is nothing but the f x into e power I into alpha plus a. So, alpha has been replaced by alpha plus a. So, that the first integral will be the Fourier transform of the function f of x plus a. So, that I can write it, this is nothing but the capital F of alpha plus a plus the second term. Similarly, this is the Fourier transform of the second one, that is f of alpha minus a. So, therefore, your Fourier transform of f x, if I know that the Fourier transform of f x, this is equals capital F of alpha, then Fourier transform of f x cos a x, this is equals half into capital F of alpha plus a plus capital F of alpha minus a, that is Fourier transform of alpha plus a plus Fourier transform of alpha minus a. Just let us go back to the this one. So, this completes the first proof, f x cos a x equals to half into f of alpha plus a plus f of alpha minus a. So, just quickly let us see the proof of this one. Fourier transform of f of cos a x equals, I am writing from the definition. Now, cos a x I am writing in terms of e power, that is e power I a x plus e power minus I x by 2. This I am breaking into two integrals and I am combining e power terms. So, that in one integral, integrand is e power I into alpha plus a into x f x dx. In the other one, it is e power I into alpha minus a x into f x dx. And first integral again is nothing but the Fourier transform of f of alpha plus a, that is capital F of alpha plus a, plus second integral is the Fourier transform of the function of x minus a. So, that this will be f of alpha minus a. So, this completes the proof of the first one. Let us see the proof of the second one now. The second one was Fourier sine transform of f x into cos a x. The other proof we have done, that is Fourier transform of, now we are going to the Fourier sine transform of f x into cos a x dx. So, it will be, since it is sine transform, so root over 2 by pi 0 to infinity f x cos a x into, it will be sine of alpha x into dx. So, that it will be a function of alpha. So, this root over 2 by pi 0 to infinity f x, this I can break this formula sin a cos b form. So, this I can write down f x into half into sine of alpha plus a into x plus sine of alpha minus a into x into dx. Now, break it into two integrals. So, your half is coming out, your root over 2 by pi will be one case 0 to infinity f x into sine of alpha plus a into x dx plus half into root over 2 by pi 0 to infinity f x into sine of alpha minus a into x into dx. So, this equals half into, what is this? This root over 2 by pi 0 to infinity f x sine of alpha plus a into x. So, alpha is replaced by alpha plus a. So, from the definition of Fourier sine integral, first integral we can write down half into Fourier sine transform of alpha plus a. And similarly, the second integral is nothing but the Fourier sine transform of alpha minus a. So, that you can write down this is half into Fourier sine transform of alpha minus a. So, you see here Fourier sine transform of f of cos x is equals to half into Fourier sine transform of alpha plus a plus Fourier sine transform of alpha minus a. So, just quickly let us see. This was the proof of the first one. For the second one, it is, I am starting Fourier sine transform of f x cos a x equals, from the definition root over 2 by pi 0 to infinity f x into cos a x sin alpha x dx. Now, this sin a cos b form I can break it into like this, sin of half into sine of alpha plus a into x plus sine of alpha minus a into x. Now, separate these two integrals. First integral again is nothing but 0 to infinity f x sine of alpha plus a x into dx, which is nothing but the Fourier transform of f of x plus a. So, that I am writing half into Fourier sine transform of alpha plus a plus Fourier sine transform of alpha minus a. So, once I have proved this, the 3, 4, 5, that is, if you see our 3, 4, 5 was this thing. 3 was Fourier sine transform of f x sin a x half into Fourier cosine transform alpha minus a minus Fourier cosine transform of alpha plus a. This 3, 4 and 5, these 3 proceeding in the same fashion, you can prove it of your own. So, you can do it of your own and you can check it whether it is correct or not. The procedure will remain same as we have shown for these two cases. Now, let us take an example. I want to find out the Fourier transform of cos square x by 2 and sin square x by 2. Let's start with something different. Although I want to find out the Fourier transform of cos square x by 2 and sin square x by 2. So, I can do it in two ways. One is independently I can find out what is the Fourier transform of x square cos of x square by 2 and what is the Fourier transform of sin of x square by 2. This is one way we can do it. The other way is, since cos square x by 2 and sin square x by 2 is involved, I can start with something like this. Fourier transform of e power minus a square x square. If you remember, already we evaluated the Fourier transform of this thing. We have done it earlier in earlier lectures. So, you may go back and check the result. I am not doing it again. The value will become 1 by a into root 2 into e power minus alpha square by 4 a square. So, please note this thing, that this I am writing already done, means this we have shown earlier. Fourier transform of e power minus a square x square equals 1 by a root 2 into e power minus alpha square by 4 a square. Now, let us take a particular value of a equals 1 by root 2 e power minus I pi by 4. This I am assuming that a equals this thing. So, this equals, if I assume this one, this I can write down 1 by root 2 into e power, I can break it into cos and sin term. So, cos pi by 4 minus I sin pi by 4. I know the value of cos sin pi by 4 and I sin pi by 4. So, 1 by root 2. So, this will become half into 1 minus pi. So, effectively I am assuming that a equals 1 by root 2 e power minus pi by 4, and by that way I am telling my a is half into 1 minus I. So, that from here you can write down a square equals, from there e into e power minus I pi by 2. Your a is this quantity. So, from here I can write down your a square is nothing but half into e power minus I pi by 2. So, half into, again I can write it in terms of cos sin. So, cos pi by 2 minus I sin pi by 2. So, putting the values of sin and cos, sin pi by 2 and cos pi by 2, this will vanish, first term will vanish. So, that, and second term sin pi by 2 is 1. So, you will get the result as minus I by 2. So, if I assume a equals 1 by root 2 into e power minus I by 4, then basically I am telling that my a is now suppose half into 1 minus I and a square is minus I by 2. So, assume these two things, a is half into 1 minus I and a square is minus I by 2. So, once I am assuming this, then Fourier transform of e power I x square by 2. This equals, using the earlier thing, that is Fourier transform of e power minus x square. I obtained Fourier transform of this thing. Fourier transform of e power minus a square x square. This equals, we have written 1 by a root 2 into e power minus a square, e power minus alpha square by 4 a square. Now, I am substituting here a equals half into 1 minus I and a square, this is equals to minus I by 2. So, here if I substitute this, your a square is minus I by 2. So, that this will become plus I by 2 into x square, and here also you put the value of a as half into 1 minus I and a square as minus I by 2. So, that you will obtain 1 by root 2 into a is half into 1 minus I into e power minus alpha square by 4 a square. Alpha a square is minus I by 2. So, it will become e power alpha square by 4 into I by 2. This minus is getting cancelled over here. So, once I am getting this, so this root 2 will go up, you will obtain root 2 by 1 minus I into e power alpha square by 2I, and this again I am writing as e power alpha square by 2I. So, this you can write down root 2 by 1 minus I e power minus I if I multiply. So, e power minus I alpha square by 2 I can obtain. So, effectively what is happening then? Fourier transform of e power I x square by 2 equals I am getting root 2 by 1 minus I into e power minus I alpha square by 2. So, this again if you write it 1 plus I if you multiply. So, 1 minus I square, so that it will become 2 into e power minus I alpha square by 2. So, effectively this root 2 we can cancel, and we can say that Fourier transform of e power I x square by 2, this is equals to 1 plus I by root 2 into e power minus I alpha square by 2. Sorry, 1 minus sign will come. So, I am just instead of this I am writing again e power minus I alpha square by 2. What is Fourier transform of? Now, e power I can break it into cos and sin terms. So, that this is e power I x square by 2 is nothing but cos x square by 2 plus I sin x square by 2. So, if I write it like this will be Fourier transform of cos of x square by 2 plus I into Fourier transform of sin of x square by 2. So, e power I x square by 2 I am breaking it into cos x square by 2 plus I sin x square by 2, and similarly here also I can write down 1 plus I by root 2 into this is also cos of alpha square by 2 minus I of I into sin of alpha square by 2. So, if you take the real and imaginary part, if I break it into two things, it will be 1 by root 2 into cos of alpha square by 2 minus I by root 2 into sin of alpha square by 2 plus I by root 2, next term will come I by root 2 into cos of alpha square by 2 minus this will be remain plus I square. So, it will be plus 1 by root 2 into sin of alpha square by 2. So, if I now make the real and imaginary part separately, 1 by root 2 into cos of alpha square by 2 plus sin of this term will come. So, sin of alpha square by 2, this term and this term I am taking, and similarly plus I by root 2 into this term is cos of alpha square by 2, this one, and I is there root 2. So, it will be minus sin of alpha square by 2. So, I am taking this term and this term. So, by making the real and imaginary part separately. So, from here you see, now I can write down Fourier transform. If I equate the real part, Fourier transform of cos of x square by 2 is nothing but 1 by root 2 into cos of alpha square by 2 plus sin of alpha square by 2. I can write down easily. And similarly, Fourier transform of, if I equate the imaginary part, sin of x square by 2, this is equals to 1 by root 2 into cos of alpha square by 2 minus sin of alpha square by 2. So, you are trying to find out this thing separately. So, please note this thing, that although we had to find out Fourier transform of cos of x square by 2 and Fourier transform of sin of x square by 2, we started some other exponential function then for a specific value of a we are getting it. So, quickly again let us see this thing. We started from here, Fourier transform of, we have to find out Fourier transform of cos of x square by 2 and sin of x square by 2. So, we are taking a function Fourier transform of e power minus a square x square, and already you know what is the value. Fourier transform of this function, already we have done it earlier. This is equals 1 by a root 2 into e power minus alpha square by 4 a square. Now, I am taking a particular value of a, that is, you can ask how you took this particular value of a. This is basically by observation we are taking the value of a, because if I take a equals 1 minus I, then only I can go to the e power x square by 2. So, or in other sense, if I take a square equals I square by 2, then I can obtain the e power x square by 2. So, from the back calculation you can tell that I am considering a equals 1 by root 2 into e power minus I pi by 4, and which is nothing but if I expand it in terms of cos and sin, and if I substitute the value of cos pi by 4 and sin pi by 4, I will obtain half into 1 minus I. And on the same way, your a square, since a is assumed this, your a square will be half into e power minus I pi by 2, which again expanding cos pi in terms of cos pi by 2 and sin pi by 2, your a square is minus I by 2. So, you obtain from the earlier one value of a as half into 1 minus a, 1 minus I, and a square as minus I by 2. So, if I put the value of a square minus I by 2, I will obtain e power I x square by 2 over there. This is equals to, and e power I x square by 2 is nothing but the cos of x square by 2 plus I sin x square by 2. For that reason, I considered the particular value of a like this, and already we know the Fourier transform. So, I am just putting the value of a and a square, and you are getting this value, which I can write down e power minus I by simplification. Fourier transform of e power I x square by 2 is equals to root 2 into 1 plus I by 2 into e power minus I alpha square by 2. Now, break the e power format in terms of cos and sin. So, that Fourier transform of cos of x square by 2 plus I sin x square by 2 equals 1 plus I by root 2 into cos of alpha square by 2 minus I sin of alpha square by 2. And so, by simplification, I am just putting the real part and imaginary part separately. So, that from here, if I equate the real part, I can tell Fourier transform of cos of x square by 2 is nothing but 1 by root 2 into cos of alpha square by 2 plus sin of alpha square by 2. And if I equate the imaginary part, then I can tell Fourier transform of sin of x square by 2 equals 1 by root 2 cos of alpha square by 2 minus sin of alpha square by 2. So, in this particular problem, if you observe, we could have separately obtained the value of Fourier transform of cos of x square by 2,